Well, hello there, brothers and sisters of the WoT Blitz universe. You're watching WoT Blitz Addict again. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about the Conway, the Tier 9 British tank destroyer, which is a turreted one. Well, there are many controversies about the tank, which gun to use, how to play it, is it good, is it bad. We're gonna talk about them during the gameplay. I don't want to waste time in the garage just to talk about things that you will see during gameplay. Let's look at the consumables. As you can see, multi-purpose restoration pack, repair kit, and I'm using improved engine power boost, and I really advise you to use it. It's great. You can use adrenaline, but this one makes this tank really good. You can also use reticle calibration if you like. It really depends on your playstyle. Spoiler is a must. Pudding and tea for overall and protection kit because you basically don't have armor. So here's the loadout for the stock gun: 70 AP shells, 7 APCR and 11 HE shells. HE is quite good on this gun, so I quite often use it. And now for the big gun, 70 AP shells and 13 hash. I don't use HE on this gun because the hash, as you can see, the penetration on the hash is so nice and the damage is so great. It's basically, there's no need to use HE. If you want to, you can load some, because as you can see, the damage on HE is way better than on hash, but still the penetration isn't that great. Now let's look at the equipment. So I'm using calibrated shells. This is for the stock gun, of course. You can use gun rammer if you want on the stock gun, but I'm using calibrated shells just in case. I'm using enhanced gun lane drive, vertical stabilizer, defense system because you will be playing at the back, improved assembly because you have new armor, toolbox to get repairs faster, camouflage net, improved control, and consumable delivery system. And now we're gonna talk about the guns and the tank itself. Basically, this tank has nice mobility. The mobility is good for a tank destroyer. It's really good. The thing you don't have is the traverse speed and the gun traverse speed, the turret traverse speed. Those are two things that you need to learn before you play this tank. That if you keep playing the line, or you played the American line like the Hellcat or T25-2, then you already know the mechanics of this tank. So basically, the gun traverse, the turret traverse speed is really bad, and you need to pre-aim your shots. Like you should keep your turret in the place where you will basically have a chance to use it. For some games here, I think I used adrenaline, but I can't really remember. But basically, I use in most times I use the booster, because this is what gives a bit of an edge for the tank, because the mobility is good, but the pickup speed isn't that spectacular. So if you use the pickup speed of that booster, you can try to chase some medium tanks when you in the situation we're gonna be here, so around the rock. But basically, it's a second line support tank. It's more of a typical TD where you camp, then like a brawling one. You don't have armor, and you're really big tank, so you're extremely high. It's really hard to hide behind cover on some maps, on most maps basically. So you have some advantages. You have decent gun depression, you have two guns, and there's a kind of controversy about the guns, the big gun and the stock one. I will tell you about both of them. So it really depends on the situation. With the stock gun, you have way better DPM, but basically you don't have hash, and that's the kind of weakness of the stock gun. But you have APCR, and as you can see, APCR gives you opportunity to go straight through the tracks. Even though you will hit the tracks, you will still do damage in most cases. Of course, some tanks have wider tracks and it's harder, but in general you will get more penetration. And That's the reason why most people use the stock gun, and I think it's correct way to use it. And in the situations when you are like 1 against 3, 1 against 2, it's really better to use the stock one because of the DPM, simply because of the reload time, and you will need them in the situations like that. But if your team is playing quite well, so you're kind of team dependent, so if your team is playing well, then you can use the big gun and do massive damage. As you can see, I'm here with the stock gun and really can shoot quite fast, so that's the main advantage of this gun. But you don't have hash, and that's the main advantage of a big gun, that you really have hash with your bigger alpha, and that's a fun thing to have in some situations, of course, in not all. Let's talk about the big gun right now, just for a second. So the big gun gives you a way better alpha, like over 600 damage alpha, and that's the advantage of the gun. But when you stick in the situations, it's exactly the same with the T30. So you have large alpha, but you don't have the reload time. As you can see, now we're facing the gun is a bit trollish from time to time, as you can see. And here is the VK. So you can see with AP you can go through the VK cheeks. Unfortunately, my gun said nope, and I didn't. But you will see in some shots, I think I will hit the hatch or the side. Yeah, exactly, the side of the turret, and you can basically get the things done, even with the stock gun. The same with the big gun. The penetration is good. It's not bad. It's really all about the DPM of the gun. And now we're in a situation where we one-on-one against the standard B, so the medium tank. It has advantage of mobility, and yeah, my gun was trolling me all the way this game. But still, look at the mobility. I don't have the consumable. That's the worst thing. I don't have the booster, so I need to play a bit sneaky. The mobility of the tank, as I told you, is quite good, and all you really have problem with is the turret traverse speed. So as you can see, I'm pre-aiming my shots before I move back and forward. The turret is always in the situation where I can hit the enemy, and yeah. So that's the I would say that's the playstyle of the tank. So second line, and if you need to, you can use your speed to flank and just do some crazy stuff. And here's the second battle in the port bay. The port bay, well, I have gun depression. I don't have armor, so I'm pushing with the mediums. I'm pushing the bridge side. Why? They have two light tanks, and I really assuming that they will be on the bridge. So heavies are even like 3-on-3, so the heavies can hold the flank if it's needed. And I think I was playing, which gun I was playing here? I think I was playing with the stock gun. I really, in most cases, the stock gun is really better. If you play a few games with the stock gun and the top gun, you will see the difference, and you will see which one fits you better. But the big gun is, like I said, is situational. If you have good team, then yeah, the big gun is better. But if you want to be more independent and less team dependent, you could use, basically you can use the stock gun, and it's even better for you while you're grinding, because yeah, while you're grinding you can just skip the stock gun for some time and just grind the big gun if you want to. Just basically, if you want to grind the big gun, you can do it, and you can play with the stock, and that kind of makes it easier for you to grind the tank itself. I think it's gonna be just 2 games here, because they are pretty long games, and if I will put 3 games here, it's gonna be way too long episode. So okay, so we talked about the advantages of a tank. So the main advantages of a tank is the mobility, The stock gun with APCRs, bit trollish gun, as you can see, a bit trollish gun, and this gun kind of trolls me for let's say not most of the time, but from time to time. It's based on RNGs, but still it's kind of trollish. I wouldn't say for a British gun it's that accurate that it should be, but yeah, basically it's not a bad tank. It's a tank where you can really excel if you use it correctly. If you use it second line, I never go front line, because if you go front line you will be here's the basically the gun. Yeah, the gun handling isn't great. I really don't like the gun handling as it comes as a British tank. It should have way better gun handling than it really has. So you should play support. You should snipe if you can. If you can't, or if you have to, you should push or flank. You have the mobility to do it. And here I'm gonna use my extremely good booster to just face the wall and do nothing. And yeah, that's the way to use it. Yeah, basically. You basically try to use it when you're relocating, or when you have to back up fast, just to give a little bit of edge and not losing your hit points, because your hit point pool isn't great. As you can see, only 1700 with the bonus of HP, and for a tier 9 tank it's not really great, especially when the buff to the heavies came, and all the tiers heavy tanks will be just basically harder for you to kill. And I think it's gonna be the last game, so thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to talk with me or some other guys from community, join my Discord, the link is in the description below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to not miss another episode. Take care, bye bye, and catch you all on the battlefield.